So I'm just going to give you my top 5 recommendations for Christmas Day. These are the kind of wines that I'll be drinking on Christmas Day. And if you can't find these specific wines, it doesn't matter. But stylistically, these are the kind of things that you want to go for. So, first choice, when you wake up, you're opening your presents, go for something like this. This is a Hush Heath Estate Balfour Brut Rosé 2006 from Kent. So, an English sparkling wine. English sparkling wines now are really starting to get some fantastic press. Really top of the game now. Classic champagne varieties, so Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier and Chardonnay. Have that with something like maybe some sliced chorizo, some sliced salami, some cold meat, maybe some nuts, maybe some olives. As an aperitif kind of style of wine with some nibbles like that, absolutely perfect. Okay, then moving on to your Christmas lunch. Maybe a lot of you, first thing, what you'll be having is maybe something like a selection of seafood. Maybe some smoked salmon, maybe some oysters, maybe some big gambus prawns, maybe some potted shrimp, something like that. So this will be my next choice. This is a Sauvignon Blanc from Springfield Estate down in South Africa. So this is their Life from Stone Sauvignon Blanc 2009. So typical South African Sauvignon Blanc, very, very pungent, very aromatic, really kind of smells of wild herbs, fresh nettles, asparagus, very citrusy, very lemony, low sugar, very, very high in acidity. So if you have this with something like seafood, it's just going to be like putting a squeeze of lemon juice over that seafood. So perfect combination. So moving on, depending what you're having for your main course, if you were going for something like maybe duck, maybe goose, maybe turkey, I would recommend to go for something like Pinot Noir. So this is Atarangi Pinot Noir from Martinborough in New Zealand. Really, New Zealand Pinot Noirs are just phenomenal now. A lot of the more famous ones coming from down in central Otago. This is in the North Island, close to Christchurch. A very good producer, 2005 vintage, got a little bit of age to it. Kind of aromas that you're going to get in this will be cherries, raspberries, slightly mature character, so it'll have a slightly sort of bacony character to it, maybe some smoke, some caramel coming from the barrel aging. But typically Pinot Noir, quite low in tannin and quite high in acidity. And if you're going for kind of fatty meat like goose or like duck, this kind of thing's perfect. Also, if you're having something like beef, if you're going for a classic roast rib of beef, maybe something. It's always good to have on Christmas Day a really old classic. So this is, the perfect kind of Saint-Julien from Bordeaux. So Chateau Tolbeau, very famous estate, 2006 vintage, quite young, quite full-bodied, big tannins, lots of really solid fruit, very classic aromas of pencil shavings, graphite, damp earth, black currants. So something with roast beef, just an absolute classic combination. So then for the last wine. This is the Quinta de Noval Colheita 1995. So an aged tawny port, that's what a Colheita is. So this kind of wine is going to be quite multifunctional. First of all, it's big, it's full-bodied, it's very sweet, it's high in alcohol. To go with something like Christmas pudding, it's perfect. All of those sort of dried fruit characteristics and all that brown sugar and all that sort of rum butter and things like that is going to go really well with a tawny port. And then also to follow on with your cheese board. If you have a bit of Stilton and port, really classic combination. And also, because it's not a vintage port, it's a Colheita port, a tawny port, it's going to go really nicely with some of those hard cheeses, things like Beaufort, things like Comté, mature cheddar, anything like that is going to be a great combination with tawny port. So that's my top 5 recommendations. So I hope you enjoy them.